So hello, welcome to another weekly analysis video. My name is Dima, your host for this week as ever, and we've got another set of beautiful charts to look at for this week. Some nice looking setups. Let's have a look at what we've got in the markets for this week. Another week, another start to the year, a few weeks into the beginning of the year and January. Let's have a look at what we've got for this week. I'm going to start as always on the economic calendar, and let's have a look what this week holds. Monday, we've got a bank holiday from the US there, and we also have on the pound the Bank of England speech. On Tuesday, we have claimant count from pound GBP there, and then we also have CPI numbers on the CAD. Now, Tuesday is also the first day of the World Economic Forum meetings, and in fact that lasts for the rest of the week, so there could be some announcements what happens with these meetings, multi-day meetings like this one and the G20s. We may have some unusual announcements. There could be some unexpected volatility, some little bit of news comes out, so bear that in mind throughout the week because the meetings take place over the whole week apart from Monday. Wednesday, we have a big news item from the Bank of Japan there, the BOJ monetary policy. Then we've got CPI numbers on the pound, PPI numbers on dollar. The meetings again Wednesday, and then on Thursday we've got a speech from the European Central Bank, so that's on the euro there. And then Friday, lesser importance is the retail sales on the pound and retail sales on a CAD. And then we've got speeches again on Swiss and euro there. Let's have a look how that matches up with some setups that I've got for you this week. As ever, I picked out some of the higher probability charts, charts in the market for the setups that we've got for this week. So let's begin and have a look at what we've got here. Let's see how we can flow with the market this week. All right, let's begin as always with the major one. We've got the euro here pushing higher as expected since last week. We've got the bullish momentum and we are continuing to move higher, so the bias is to the upside, especially as the dollar is weak right now. So we're going to look to continue to the upside, and the next point that I'll be looking for would be this swing right here as the target, and after that it would be up here. Okay, so looking at the daily, we haven't quite reached that point yet. We're about 80 pips away, and you can see that last week Friday, the candle ended up uncertain and neutral, but the whole week was bullish. So looking now into the 4 hour, if I just squeeze the chart up a little bit, here's that first target. And if this level now, oops, and just take that away, if this level now holds and we break higher, then what I'll be looking for is a move higher, retracement to this area right here, and then a continuation to the upside into this level and then beyond, which will sync up with the weak dollar and the big bullish momentum to the upside. You can see it, big bullish candle on the weekly closing higher, and we are reaching for the next levels up here. So that's the bias there on the euro dollar. Let's have a look at another major pair. We've got the dollar yen. So remembering dollar is weak, quite obviously. You can see from this chart last month closed bearish, and then last week closed bearish as well, and it looks like we're now gone through this level that I was looking at some weeks ago into the next one, which is down here. So that's about 140 pips away. You can see this big bearish candle. So let's delete some of these past markups which are no longer relevant, and now let's have a closer look at this candle. So what I can see straight away is this level right here, and if we zoom into the 4 hour, it would be really nice to get that better price into this zone, to this level, if the market reaches for that, which is again fair distance away, about 160 pips, and creates another swing to the downside, that would be a nice high probability risk to reward ratio from a nice expensive price there, which is always what we want to get when we are selling. So that's what I'll be looking for. If that does not happen, then the market may reach down into the level and then make a retracement. We'll have to reassess from there. At the moment, you can see clear weakness, lower lows, lower highs, big series of them. And here's that next level we're reaching for. So if that reversal does indeed happen, again, another swing here, just like we got previously, then I'll be looking for that sell. Okay, let's move on to the next one, weak dollar. There we've got strong euro. Let's move to the next chart. Let's go for euro dollar. Again, let's look at the monthly quickly. Previous month ended up bullish. We're now creating what looks like this swing, and this is now the low as a reference point. Look on the weekly, we could see last week ended up a bullish engulfing. Previous week was a sort of inside bar, a pause in the market, and then continuation on that bullishness. We could see we've broken this high, we've broken this high. If I just delete all these markings just to make it simpler. Looking on the daily, let's look for reference points. I can see we've got the next swing high is up here, and then a minute after that is up there. So what would I be looking for? Looking on the 4 hour with that bullish idea, I'll be looking for that next swing here to be formed. This will be the slightly, I would say, low probability entry, higher risk. However, if we do get that continued push to the upside, breaking previous week's high, coming down, and then continuing to the upside. So always trying to get that better optimal price, trying to get that cheaper price and increase the probabilities and risk reward to the next upside, which is about 80-90 pips away, to the 0.89898, or yeah, 898 or so. So that's what I'm looking at with the euro pound, continued on that bullish momentum. Okay, let's go to the next one on our list. Let's go to pound yen. So pound yen, you've got clear bearishness in the market since last week. This what looks to be a fake bullish candle. We rejected it right away, and we've got these lows down here that we may be looking at in terms of a target. And if I look at the monthly, you can see that we've had bearish months, no sign of let up. And then the weekly closed bearish, so I'll be looking for the continuation of that. Weekly, do not see any bullishness yet. We've had this initial bullishness, but that failed, did not break the high, and we now went lower again. So the idea here would be to get a better price. Where's that better price? Well, you can have a look. You can draw a fib if you like from the current high and low. And here's that area above the 50 level into the 61 and 78. So a nice expensive price from up here coming to the downside would be a very decent, very nice trade. That's about 900 pips away. So a really big trade there in terms of pips, if you can catch it at the right moment. And as always, there will be, when we have a breakdown below the low, surely there will be another swing in the market, and that will be another opportunity, slightly safer, I could say, higher probability scenario, because we will have a bit more data, however, not as high a risk to reward ratio. So let's have a look when it gets there, when it does so, and then I'll be aiming at these lows down here. And in fact, the first obvious target will be this low, just because it's a swing, and this will be a nice conservative one, and then you can hold it a bit longer there. That's what I would prefer to the downside. That's in terms of the probabilities of where we're going with that one. Okay, we also have, if you notice, a strong yen. So on the dollar yen, you can see that strength in the yen, and pound yen, you can see that strength in the yen. So that kind of matches up, but you don't want to be taking two yen pairs betting in the same direction of the yen, because, well, then if it goes in the opposite way, you will have double your risk, double the loss, if you haven't managed your risk, that is. Let's move on to the next one. I'm going to select Euro New Zealand, another last one of the Forex pairs. Looked at this previously. Here we've got a higher high and higher low. We've got this swing low down here on the monthly. On the weekly, we can see we're breaking through these highs. We have this engulfing bullish candle. And if I just delete all of these markings, the next target up would be up here, and then the one after that will be the extreme up there. So let's have a look at a lower time frame. We can see that we're breaking these highs, and now I'll be looking for another push to the upside to reach into this level first of all. In fact, the swing high is up here. That's a more obvious one. So what I'll be looking for is push higher. Again, retracement, pulling back, and then continuing on that upside. Looking to break this high, which is the previous week's high. Continuing to the upside. There is a possibility as an entry here at the moment with the low down here. However, because of the choppiness, there's not quite clarity here. It would be nice to see it push higher first, really give that confirmation, show that it's moving to the upside and not breaking down lower. So here's that target, about 130 pips away, and then the next one is another 350 pips away. So that's Euro New Zealand favoring the upside on Euro New Zealand. Okay, let's move on now to the others. So we have got here the S&P. Let's look at the S&P index. I marked out this level last week. We did reach into it. What looked like a rejection of it initially, but that failed, and we continued going higher into this zone, right into this zone. So we just kind of tapped into it, but didn't really reject off it. So here we are now, and what's the situation? Well, we are exactly at that zone, and now let's see if we're going to wait. Let's see if we do get a rejection, a turnaround, some price action reversal here off this level somewhere here. So now that we have gone higher, we can look at the next zone. So the next zone would be the gap in price up here, and we have now passed the 61.8. So anywhere between here, 61.8 and 78 would be a nice area to look for. And then if we do get that rejection, the level, this would be a good confirmation as a break, and so would price action. Breaking this level, moving lower. Again, pulling back to a better price, a more expensive price, and then coming down to the downside at this obvious level down here, and then the next obvious level down there. If I just have a look, you can see on the daily, it's a bit clearer there. So far, the bullish momentum is not letting up. This continued closes higher, and we're going to have to wait and see for the reversal to actually show itself. Here we didn't have that because we didn't break the structures, we didn't break lows, we kind of got stuck in this range. So let's wait for that before doing anything, and then the probabilities will turn in our favor as the market shows its hand. Let it do what it wants to do. Hope that's clear. As ever, leave your comments below if you have any questions, and if you're looking at some other charts, happy to look at them with you. So let's look at what else we've got. So lastly, I usually look at Bitcoin, all right? And if you've been with me, we look at that. We kind of revisit it every so often, every couple of weeks. But this time I'm going to change it up a little bit. Instead of Bitcoin, I'm going to look at Ethereum. So ETHUSD. The reason I'm going to look at Ethereum is that it actually looks better than Bitcoin. Why does it look better? Well, right now we have what looks to be a slightly bullish scenario, and it looks more bullish than Bitcoin. So the reason for that is we've got this higher low up here, and on Bitcoin we don't actually have that. So what this indicates to me, because we have a higher low, there is more probability for bullishness in Ethereum, more strength. Now, here's that last week we had this break higher. We broke this last high. If you are kind of into trend lines, there's a trend line here, and now we're breaking through that. A breakthrough this level will be a major significance, and what I'll be looking for is a better price. So now that we've created this swing low, I'm not looking for the market to go below that. So that's a sort of reference point. If we do, then we're heading lower. So far, I'll be looking at the buy scenario. So I was looking at this area here on Bitcoin. It looks about the same. And now it looks like we are not doing that. We are breaking through. So let's see if we actually have a continuation of that. So continuation, what would that look like? It would look like a better price, a cheaper price, and then continuing to the upside. The safer option, the high probability option, would be the break of this level and then the pullback. That's some way away. Then continuation, and then the upside would be up here and up here. Here's that obvious swing. However, that's some way away, like I said, and let's see if we get a better price. We may even pull lower into this gap down here that's been created. That's also a possibility. It's another scenario to bear in mind. But otherwise, we can look at this area for the market to bounce away from and continue to the upside. May have to wait for a bit more price action here because we are just continuing bullishness, and we don't want to be buying an expensive price. There's a big gap already started. You can see here we want to get a nice pullback, not chase the market. Let's wait for it to create that swing, especially on the 4 hours, a minimum, and then look to get in to the buy side. So that's the idea here for now on Ethereum. What I do see is that there is a possibility that we'll have to wait until this high is broken, and that may be until next week. So that'll be the preferred scenario, but still bullish. I'm looking at bullishness coming back into the crypto market here. First of all, it's just a hint, it's just a little sign. At the moment, it's not really confirmed until we break this high up here. And I can actually remove this trend line, it's not really necessary. And let's see where we get to. And when we get to up here, then we will reconsider. That's your lot for this week. We do have several USD pairs, we do have several Euro pairs, and we do have 2 Yen pairs. So we do have, remember the WEF meetings, we do have pound news, we do have dollar news this week. Really pay attention to what's going on and take into account, factor in the possibility of some volatility or some unexpected move, or factor in the news into your setups is basically what I'm saying. And remember to manage your risk as always. Okay, that's it for this week. I hope that helps you. Have a good trading week, guys, and I'll see you next week for the next week's analysis video. All right, hope that helps. Thanks again for joining me. Comment down below, and I'll see you next week. All right, guys, take care.